Motorsport beckoned to Vauxhall in the late 60s. It was something that many other manufacturers were successful with, and it obviously had some effect on the Marque image. And really, before the Viva and its sports clones, the Viva GT and then the Forenza, we didn't really have a car that was suitable for motorsport.
Star of the Vauxhall range, she's an engineering thoroughbred, the direct descendant of a very successful motor racing team, the dealer team Vauxhall.
It was really a General Motors policy of the day that said that General Motors divisions shouldn't be directly involved in motorsport. So the way round that for the enthusiasts of the day was to get the dealers to go racing for us. So we formed a team called Dealer Team Vauxhall, DTV, and really we had an amazing driver, a man with a great character called Jerry Marshall. And Jerry used to drive the Viva GTs and then the Forenzas in what was then saloon car racing. And really we became synonymous with success in the saloon car field, particularly with the Forenza. The involvement with motorsport was quite crucial. It's very difficult to evaluate in pound note terms what it does for you, but definitely people identify with a successful motorsport product, even if they are only able to afford the ordinary version of the car. In the mid-1970s, Vauxhall really found itself in a deep crisis. For a variety of reasons, sales were absolutely rock bottom. In fact, I was with the company at the time. If I remember rightly, we were down to about 7.5% market share. And really, I think General Motors had so many attempts at breathing life into Vauxhall that they really felt they should perhaps lock the door and throw the key away this time. So it was crisis time.
Vauxhall looked towards the 1980s and introduced an entirely new range of cars, the Cavaliers.
I joined the company back in '74. The Viva was coming towards the end of its life, really, and then we started to build the Mark I Cavalier. I suppose towards the end of the Mark I, these turned out to be rather desperate times for Vauxhall. We had to endure a lot of short-time working, 3-day week. The scene was one of empty conveyors, glum faces. I myself wasn't too happy. I was trying to save to get married at the time. Very difficult for me to do. But there was a project in the wind, and it was a replacement, which was going to be a Mark II Cavalier. It was almost as if it was almost a different company. The car just took off. The most significant thing, it was a front-wheel drive. All our main rivals were still struggling along with rear-wheel drive cars. The all-new engine was a fuel-injected, powerful engine, which made it very economical, made it very competitive. I think it was a really user-friendly car because it soon became a favourite of the fleets. All the fleet buyers were going Cavalier. And when you consider that 75% of probably all major manufacturers, what they build go to fleet cars, that was a good competitive market to get in.
Cavalier was also marketed as the family car. And if you bought a Cavalier, you were going to be very safe, very respectable. And you have cricketing scenes, for example, in modern Cavalier brochures. You have very much the traditional staples of the English scene. No suggestion that if you buy a Cavalier that you're being at all radical. Nothing extravagant happened in a Cavalier.
The Cavalier convertible is very much a collectible item now. It's recognised throughout the classic car world as such. My passion for Cavalier convertibles probably dates back to when I was a young lad. Driving a Cavalier convertible makes me feel on top of the world. The hood's down, you've got a family of 4 in it, off on holiday or just for a drink down the pub. You just can't beat it. Wonderful feeling. Wind in the hair, brilliant. When we were building the first Cavalier, I was at the very beginning of the process. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that's actually been there throughout the 3 Cavaliers we've been building over the last 20 years.
modern Vauxhall is an extremely good vehicle. It's catering for the mass market. It's a different total market to that which Vauxhall's originally catered for. One may not think of Vauxhall as a luxury car. At that time, the Vauxhall was a really sought-after car and an expensive car to buy. Quite different from today, when it is the car for everybody.
Following shortly on Discovery, Science Detectives explores the electronic wars, looking at high-tech criminals who use computers and the internet to appropriate funds and cover their tracks.